all-inclusive preoccupations. The knowledge that brings sound to humans feels real. The semblance causes the meaning to become infinitely rich. Immediate emptiness takes place, presence, over a number of years. The positioning of fans to circulate air for sleep.
Me and my girls at the ground with me. It was fun to be a whip. It was fine to be a whip. An uttered thing for some becomes. Bad aspens bat ash black eyes in the forests far. It was crippling to doubt and then forgive and then to doubt again, that very snake-like path appearing on the pink September sky. For us, above everything, a decision hovered about how much to grieve. Cleaning the scalpel, you hesitate, and the curtain fills with air. Don't tell me if you think I'm dumb. I grow my hair around us, a long columnar hug. The pathetic wags a wetted tail, and no hand comes to quiet it. A whip works up or rests there in a spiral. Pinky finger lopped off in a dumb cough. Droopy each reprieve and re-reprieve. I saved myself. Today I don't believe I ever touched you. In grief all gains are slight. I'd like to go back to the dream where I am being made into a whip. The leather is the good kind of leather, the leather of everybody's eyes closed. I say, if you need an extra body, I'll be your extra body.
I never was in Joy's life. In New York City, stars cannot be seen from Bushwick rooftops. In the summer air, I tell this girl that I'm in love with her. She says, me too. We smoke a lot of weed. We talk about the chance of alien life, about ideas that we've had for books that we would like to write if we had time, and then it gets too dark to see our hands. We come inside, too high to leave our place and meet our friends whose texts have piled up. We order in, we eat, we watch TV, we go to bed. Tomorrow's not today. I see 12 constellations in a dream. I touch them all at once. They talk with me about a book that no one's thought to write. My lover asks me why I'm leaving bed, but I can't even stop to speak to her, or else this inspiration will dry up before it's written down. I power up my new computer, but there's nothing there. The next day, at the coffee shop, I write a scene about a couple on a roof. The man attempts to talk about the stars, but finding them obscured, the plot dissolves. A friend texts wanting to go see a film that I've been putting off. I'm glad to go and join my friend and think about the film as though it is my own. And that's enough.
This is sort of a Bugs Bunny cartoon I wrote in 1965. Carrot Week. Green beans try to rise themselves in shoots of recognition we often get. Slow, but not much. Yucatan candlelight toppled over, dreading its means at the Dollar Tree on the way back. Dewey Guy's hat's a lemon, exuding cathode ray ode, pops up like agua, peaking in animosity, needed to drip out my hair, in a good way though. What's home for the holidays? Waves not impossible, oh my darlings. Nothing's remembered what it said. Oblivion and its discontents ride tonight.
The Beatnik Bomkauf. Dear Bob, you won the games at San Francisco 1950s, and that's a thing, substituted by jazzless yawn of the cratered hue, whose crackling blue footprintism did set. Who died crackling blue, whipped up, round calves, stolen grapes, pressed until no one remembers. Who died of peyote, overdose, juxtafloating, abominous derelict, above corpse, somnifluorescent, on me, in dabs, in ribs. Tonight I am a tent. when your wife kicks you out, when your apartment burns down, sleep in my Sierra of Z's.
Going is not better than having been. It's one more stop to your house, and I feel terrific, like yellow leaping off a sun-facing wall, like the sum of our favorite numbers. The walk from the train to your house is long. I could run to Moscow nights 8 times by now, like in the rain that one time. Desire is a slow thing. You said that to me once, and I still believe it. How funny. It's easy to imagine where you are, thinking about all these lonely women out here, giving effort and getting not love, like I care. Like I am thinking about them, like I am not a bunch of balloons reaching into a treeless night, like I am not 99% yogurt, a hot glass just out of the dishwasher, like I am not getting the whole man, as if I am not finally here.
Where I'm from. Wait. Where I'm from. Honey, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. But let me tell you a much better story. See? Someone's bound to be a king in Kings. Loose-lipped grins at the bootleg man. Shops are all neon hand grenades devastating the sidewalk, open or closed. Jehovah's and panhandlers peddle similar gods, and there's no time for quiet when metal handles metal. Someone told me that under all this stone there's a dream. The only things under all this stone is more steel, folks, and screeching. I watched the vexed cop with the beach glass eyes and the newspaper zinnias boa-knuckled in his trigger hand. Always the speedster, his rubber yammers over roads with no appreciation for the school zone.
A job is a job is a job. It would appear as if we're in a meeting, talking, but I'm actually alone, washing dishes in the dark. Or that's what it feels like. Hard to say. I'm watching his mouth flop around unpleasantly, like sea lions at Fisherman's Wharf. As a child, I went fishing with my dad in Florida. Once we caught a dolphin, the fish, not the mammal. It was big and beautiful, a rainbow of blues and greens. We unhooked it and put it in the cooler. It was my job to sit on the cooler. I felt it flop and kick against me until it died. The person talking to me is making sounds. I blink and I can change the sounds. Blink, goats yelling. Blink, static. Blink, Andy Rooney. Blink, blink. My heart is palpitating for no reason in particular, pounding against my sternum. I sit on it.
Suburban lawns for suburban lawns. Without for corn tortillas on the burners, smelling the whole apartment of exhausted appliances. In a way, I'm never not planning for my future. I do not take this very seriously. Dejecting my hairless genitals on ceremony is glorified lawn sculpting. This yellow reminds me of inculcation, a comedian always downsizing, a breakover of narcotical ingesting in headlight America, without for corn tortillas.
Encounter with figurative display. I was planning to take a picture of something, white on a gray, when I noted I had to retract myself from the scene betwixt the sun and it. And so I stood my pace away, veneration implausible, then captured it, stupidly, soundly, with utter, clamp-like ownership.
This is called significant otherness. I leave the dog for the week and wonder about her day, how she will fill it, who she will smell, how many of them I will know, these people, their laps, a social network of her own construct. I wonder how many naps she'll take. Depending on her state of relaxation, how often will she let go of being on guard? Does she ever drop her tiny gauntlet like she does with me when she falls asleep? Adjusting her jaw, I feel her teeth grind and she gets her head on me just right, letting me know I am someone that can be trusted. There's a dog that lives across the street from where I stay. I notice its ear turn when I first walk by as it sleeps in the window. Its back is to the window, but the way it holds it there, pointing, saying, "I hear you, so don't try anything." I respect it, and later the same dog is in its yard, scaring a squirrel up a pole. Then it sees me, and I'm struck by how much it looks like her. It is struck by me, but different. We both pause. Then it decides to bark me away down the block, and I honor it, not sure if I ever will be welcome.
This is Todd Colby, and the title of this poem is Let Me Have Some of What You Need Me For. In order to have a better sense of the future, it is important to plan some outings along the coastal highway. In the sunlight, there are some visible signs of deterioration of the clavicle and cranial lump. Use the tweezers to remove errant hairs from the back of your pet. Intersperse your conversation with references to aluminum causeways and pink pilings. I'll be directing the traffic to move along from the bank. Let's also think long and hard about the receptacle for your delicates. I bruise too easily. This faint stabbing sensation is unremarkable from afar, but brutal when lit by the cleags. Let me have some of what you need me for.
These dog days in twos and threes, and the sun scorches over ships long sailed, all those treasured she's. Blackboard, some douchebag screamed, "You're not worth a bean," but I got my lullaby and beat him shades of blue. I'm a cynic, a believer, a prophet of all that's good and true. I'm also vagina who gets distracted by things moving. I'm a love like any other, and hold things beautiful in you. Sometimes I'm lonely, and apparently so is Jesus. They said I'm crazy too, but I'm no damn poet, so don't burn me at the stake like silly Joan who ate too many shrooms, 'cause I'm no fool, I only take them in twos and threes. These dog days in twos and threes, and the sun crotches over hips long haled all those treasured hairs.
Cloud complaint. Looked at now, the clouds look different. They rolled across the sky, now they break. Think it's a coincidence, then think again. Parallel lives started when planes started flying. The flowers are like the clouds. The flowers changed. The clouds caused everything. Now information is a cloud.
Who's Medusa? Tiny caper eye screwed in, black orbit slowed to no. Its pink carapace lifted, its funeral coverage, its burial insurance, its bed of wet rice. A woman wants to start an affair, wants to swim backwards. Real classic shit. Odes and fragments lifted with a fingernail. Desire, its mesh water, its efficient method for shrinking you. More salt, please. My mood ring leaks. More water. Diamonds in the office park, painted on asphalt. Flimsy as a jacket. Mood uphillish. Blood as cream roll, retold in the mouth. Curtains pulled back to reveal the page torn from the Bible. They loved not their lives even unto death. And yet, prawn as gem, and further, gem as edible theory of self. So what if it's wearing you? I found a note on my phone that read, "Look up the boy who went forth to find out about the shivers." Another saying, "Inner beauty, inner beauty, inner beauty." Panic incantation, the boy who knew 3 monsters and they were sisters, but he didn't know which one he'd have to kill.
After Whiteness. Homework is to bury the brutalizers, then vaporize and sing. Dance formidable on thought graves. Empty the bedpans of their language and histories and ongoing deadly trajectories. Return the library book to a time and place that doesn't belong to moneyed murder, where selves are soft, no shame. Homework is to kiss every present that has smashed the mirror's recognized reflection. Wave hello to all of this unwashed potential. Greet a future that has a future. Practice calligraphy with the reset pen, and the end of history trips willing into the well.
Untitled, August 17, in collaboration with Who is Mary Bott. I assume everyone's in the ocean. A year has filled glasses of a person. I was labeled a bad girl when I was dating a beer, except I'm a bird. A cry for ripeness with this selfie, so wild to be learned that this is a rumor, that I don't believe in the right. I propositioned PayPal to make friends, hid under my boundaries for profit, so now feel so cultured. Who haven't cried on the contract? The obtuse angles of a year, someone was cute thing, at sad things into making things that it loved to clog drain. I've come with the dark circles under my friends. We live in the constant belligerent presence of the sharp, shiny beauty of escapism. Birds nesting in the Rite Aid.
I see the gray synesthesia of burgeoning images, the lines of my parents' mouths on the edges of conjoined papers. Dad's chest-earned grin juxtaposes Mom's Streisand-esque curve. They drip light over the tip of a lens. Who am I but the episodic despondence of art? This paper mask is an emission of beauty, of tangibility. It remains an embellishment of eyes, a nose, a mouth stretched across miles of chromosomal treachery. To be flesh and blood is to lie. A picture is a loquacious violence of intent and inscrutable angles. The animated eyes they gave me deceive. The sincerest me is sacrilege.
Most fair weather. Something about symbols and eventually crystals fading to stars. Not at night, but in control. Then step down against the lake. Though there never was a winner in the story of next week, the sun would continue to show. Ritual flames, rarebit fiends.
Archpedant through the hot dogs. Chorus, no, no, no. The ultimate differences are unknown and cannot be expressed. As the public announcement pronounced, it only takes one day to ruin your life. There is an intellect that gives being to everything. It's a receptacle of forms. Lump an individuation. Who says what I am? Will you try now your known dexterity? Instead of vizards, show to me your apology. That's something you may call one. The bodily part. Such twists are common, said the Sphinx to love, without a glass, and the Follies dance, which were 12 she-fools. I begin to have half a fear. That shepherd, in the beginning, rose up out of delight, fast by the oracle of flight. This is akin to dreaming, or slips of the tongue, which likewise give us away. It would nature quite undo.
Hi, this is Todd Colby, and the title of this poem is Silver Jubilee. You might want to enhance this feeling of weightlessness by inflating some silver trash bags with your helium reserves. The urgency with which you fill the bags is startling, even to us. Once you feel your heels starting to lift a bit, imagine what I'm doing right behind you all the time. The way you float when you float is pretty great. There is a lot of news on the web. People put themselves in harm's way in order to bring us the news, so we should consume the news that has been gathered for us. When I wake up, it's on the news, though it has nothing to do with you or the news. It's possible the prank went awry. You know what? We're so happy for you.
Picaresque episode. Surfer in and out of, pouring, pint glasses, pouring, chased waves under, toe, forward, as forward goes, back as a pun on, reluctant, qualities of a season in the wrong month. Ice cold, beer against brow, have get, before it cloy, before it cloud. What heat? Lite, nor all the people, neither all the letters of a so-so wave, slapstick spilled torso, rather known as a sign that things have ended, have get.
Verlaine Jacks. Winter swept her woolen cloak across late October's leaves, dragging them into piles and heaps along building sides and into city gutters. An eerie trumpet call plays over the squalid battlefields of Poughkeepsie, and fireflies daze into death's hibernation. She smiles through long black rivers of mascara that drive down her cheek, and sings the procession of wary automobiles that follow her train of fog, November's sloshed debris. Her husband, tight on absinthe, ensconced himself in an armchair and read Edna St. Vincent Millay to the window pane. The pine grove in front of the house couldn't stand the iron drapes of sleet, and with the scattering of birds in a large crack, Verlaine Jacks died reading about pears.
Eulogy for LF. Call it falling apart in the neighborhood Bushwick vintage store. The white pants were cute. They will get dirty. Alfred behind the counter tells me I'm cute also. He says his problem is being black at a PWI. I'm holding a dirty comforter. In Turkey, I forgot to wear socks, so a drunk man chased me around the cobblestone neighborhood. I went into a corner store, told the shop owner. He didn't speak my language. On my birthday, I took the streetcar home alone. Maybe I turned 21. A nightmare I have is being stuck in a house like a museum. In India, drink wine. The water is filthy. Ganesha and friends make storms. The power goes out. My roommate reads auras. She saw mine behind my head on the white wall. It was pea green. We went to another town to be silent for a week. Buddha said it would be peaceful. He could talk. Last time I talked to Larry on the phone, he could barely make a sound. An email told me he died in the morning. I imagined there were a group of maenads surrounding his bed instead of nurses, who pet his fontanelle, his favorite words spoken, ausgezeichnet.
Moist night. I stroll down the sidewalk after a rain. Traffic lights pour juice in plastic cups. Orange follows green in glare routine. Orange follows green in plastic cups. Traffic lights pour juice after a rain. I stroll down the sidewalk.
Cocktail eggs and K's. Look, tissues by pretty red feet. Rolling state police driving blue flowers by the side of the road southward to Argentina. Nearer, my God, to thee.
The accident. Even now it is ending. The unslept streets go dark, like a love that is drifting and over. We drive past a field, shaved and swept clean. The moon is life and above. Every so often a flock of gulls rushes from behind the barn, and each time it is unexpected. Then, near the very beginning of spring, a sky so overcast it is erased. We will have packed our bags to come here, left our things to walk down the tall wooden staircase to the beach. In a show of my feeling, I stack 2 stones on top of your knee, and thank God they haven't fallen yet. In the metal cool sheets of a new bed, we are still the same selves we have started with, which is not worth forgetting, even in that unreachable sleep of yours. Then something happens that we are not there for. Then we wake up. And you think it's about the cat that got out in the night. But it's not about the cat, but about something else. And I'm going to tell you about it.